Hey everybody, David here, and today I'm going to talk about my favorite to my least favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe films. For those of you that don't know, the Marvel Cinematic Universe are the films that are connected to each other that lead into the Avengers and that are still continuing to this day with Iron Man 3, Thor 2, and Captain America the Winter Soldier. And also coming soon, Guardians of the Galaxy is coming out this year. Avengers Age of Ultron is coming out next May 2015, and I believe Ant-Man is also coming out that year in July of next year. So that's, I love the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Ever since Iron Man, the Incredible Hulk, and everything they've been doing so far has been great. I'm going to admit I wasn't a huge fan of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in the beginning. I thought it was really boring at first, but lately, the last couple of episodes, I'm going to admit this, the show has been getting better. So, especially if you watch the last two episodes that were connected to Captain America, the Winter Soldier, yeah, there's a lot of spoilers there for both, because they both connect so well, and because S.H.I.E.L.D. plays a huge role. Obviously, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., right? And S.H.I.E.L.D. plays a huge role in Captain America, the Winter Soldier, that there's... it's hard not to spoil anything without talking about one or the other. So, with that being said, I'm going to do my list of my least favorite to favorite movies of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So this is not including the short films that they've done. This is not including no episodes from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. This is only counting the Marvel films from my least favorite to favorite. Okay, so my least favorite film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is Captain America: The First Avenger, which was the first Captain America movie with Chris Evans. I thought it was great, but unfortunately to me it's the weakest of the bunch. I thought all these films were really fun to watch, but if I had to pick my least favorite, it's going to go to Captain America: The First Avenger. Not really because it felt like a 2-hour trailer promoting the Avengers and setting things up, but just because I felt Captain America in that movie was a little bit weak compared to the other heroes at that time. Next on my list, number 8, we got the first Iron Man movie. I love the first Iron Man movie, don't get me wrong. Remember, all these movies on this list I love all of them, but if for some reason Iron Man 1, even though I love it, I can't really explain why it's really this low on my list. But believe me, it's not a bad reason. It's just because I love all these films, and unfortunately some of the other films gave me a little bit more what I was looking for. If I had to give a reason, I'd say the action was a little weak in this one. Well, a lot of the other Marvel movies, including even Iron Man 2, I felt the action had stepped it up a notch. Now, Iron Man 2 didn't bring the action that much, but it was better than Iron Man 1, and that's why I enjoyed it. But other than that, I loved everything else. I loved the acting, I loved the comedy, I loved the special effects were great, but even the special effects weren't great enough to help the action, So that's just me, though. I still love the movie. Don't hate on me. Just respect my opinion, and yeah. Number 7 on my list is Iron Man 2. I think Iron Man 2 I know a lot of people consider this one of the weaker Marvel films, but me personally, I consider it even better than Iron Man 1. Just by a little bit. To me, if I really had to say, I'd say they're both even, in my opinion. I love both of them equally. But if I had to choose between the first Iron Man and the second Iron Man, I'd probably choose the second one, because I like how Nick Fury got more involved in the situation. He got a little bit more involved. He didn't have that much screen time, but it was still cool, and I really like Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow, even though we don't get to know about her as we will in later films. I felt that she was just fun to watch, I mean, she's freaking Scarlett Johansson, man. Can't get any better than that. Plus, it was cool seeing Rhodey join Tony Stark's team, so that was a lot of fun. And so that's why Iron Man 2 trumps Iron Man 1 for me. So I know a lot of you will disagree with me, but film is subjective. Number 6 on my list, I got The Incredible Hulk. I really liked Edward Norton in the role of Bruce Banner, and in a lot of ways, I wish that he would have returned for the Avengers to really bring that full effect of all these different actors from these different films came back. And I don't know why The Incredible Hulk didn't do much better. I know it made slightly a little bit more money than the first Hulk movie, but not enough to like consider it a success, I guess. But I wish there was a way they could have worked it out. I know there were some behind the scenes issues with Edward Norton and Marvel, but I don't know the full details on that like everyone else. So whatever the reason is, I wish they would have worked it out somehow, because Edward Norton, to me, I know a lot of people like Mark Ruffalo, and I liked him too. I thought he was good, but I felt Edward Norton, to me, was stronger in that role. To me, when I think of Bruce Banner, I think of this weak, skinny, guy, and then when he turns into this big green Goliath, that like it's like I don't know the word I'm searching for, but I felt, let's just say, I felt Mark Ruffalo was a little bit too. He looks more muscular than Edward Norton, and I guess it doesn't really matter, but to me, when I picture Bruce Banner, I picture this weak, skinny guy. And that's why he needs to turn into the Hulk, because he can't really, I don't know. But I'm an idiot. Number 5 on my list is Thor. The original Thor is 5th on my list. I really love Thor, and this is the one that was really special to me in the Marvel Phase 1, before the Avengers came out, obviously, because it was something very different from Iron Man and from the Hulk. And this was obviously before Captain America, the first Avenger, came out, that we kind of had an idea what that was gonna be, that because it took place in World War II. Thor was one that I think a lot of people were interested in, because how were they gonna make that fit with Iron Man? How are you gonna make a god, one from mythology, interact with Iron Man later on in the road? And the way they grounded Thor, and the way they made Thor grow into this, he was kind of arrogant, and he grew into this confident, heroic guy at the end. It was cool. And Tom Hiddleston and Chris Hemsworth, they both own their roles right now, especially Tom Hiddleston. I think my favorite scene in Thor, the first Thor film, was that part where Loki was obviously reaching out to the ice, and Odin comes into the chamber, and he has this little spat with Odin, and I thought Tom Hiddleston was so great in that scene. I loved it. He just, like, you felt the emotion that a lot of these Marvel villains need, and I think that's why Loki has become like one of a lot of people's favorite superhero villains right now, because you feel that emotional depth. He's not like insane like the Joker. The Joker to me is on a different level, but Loki is my second favorite supervillain of all time. I think he is just fascinating to watch. I don't know if it's the actor or the character. It might be the character. It should be the character, but it could be a little bit of Tom Hiddleston too, who really does a magnificent job. And Chris Hemsworth, I mean, the guy's badass, so love it. Number 4 on my list is Iron Man 3. Now, some of you are probably surprised, why is Iron Man 3 higher than Iron Man 1 and 2? And what can I say, man? This Iron Man movie really raised the stakes for the action. The action scenes were terrific. The thing that I think a lot of people are going to say, why is he putting Iron Man 3 above Iron Man 1 and 2, is because the little Mandarin twist at the end. And personally, judging this as a movie, not as a movie based off a comic book, that scene works really well. And you're just going to have to let it slide. You're going to have to put your personal opinions towards the comics, separate the comic and the movie for a second, and look at that scene, how it played out. Did it make you laugh? If it did its job right. and that's what the movie was supposed to do. It was supposed to entertain you, and I felt the movie entertained on a terrific level, and I thought it brought it to the next level for Iron Man, and I had so much fun with that movie that that's why it's fourth on my list. Number 3, Captain America: The Winter Soldier. I just saw this movie recently. I might have to see it a few more times, but I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be surprised if I push it up later. But right now it's third on my list. I really enjoyed it a lot. I'm telling you, Marvel Phase 2 is much better than Phase 1. They're perfecting everything from their procedures, and I felt Captain America 2 just made Captain America a badass. Who knew a Boy Scout could be badass? Okay, I thought Superman was badass in Man of Steel, but besides that, yes, Captain America was a total badass. And it's just great seeing Chris Evans and Scarlett Johansson and Nick Fury, Samuel Jackson, back in their roles, doing what they do. And Robert Redford was really good. Sebastian Stan as the Winter Soldier. Anthony Mackie as the Falcon. All these guys were terrific in this film, and I really like the conspiracy aspect. There's like a born identity type feel there. I haven't watched too many conspiracy movies from the 70s, but a lot of people have mentioned a lot of those type of films where apparently Robert Redford came from. So I might have to check out a lot of those movies now. Because yeah, I enjoyed the movie a lot, and it really flipped the Marvel Universe really right now on its head, which is, it will be interesting to see where not only Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. go, but where the Avengers Age of Ultron, how this affects that movie as well. Number 2 on my list is Thor: The Dark World. I really love this film, pretty much for the same thing, the same reasons why I like the first Thor film. Just a lot of fun, and I don't think you I think they perfect everything from what the first one was kind of missing. This one, they try to give you more of that. You want to see more of Asgard, and when you see that, it feels rich, and it's just a fun journey that you're on with Thor and Loki. And the brotherly aspect of this film. You know, I have 2 brothers myself. We all argue a lot, the 3 of us, and it's just a lot of fun to see that relationship and how they have to try to work together for someone that they lost in the film, which takes them on a fun, emotional journey. But yeah, so I enjoyed it. Yeah, and by the way, the weak villain aspect, to me that didn't bother me too much, because I felt even though they didn't go into detail and he felt like a 2-dimensional villain, I don't think he was like... the emotional journey of the movie was with Thor and Loki. And obviously Loki got to steal the spotlight again from this new villain, and I think that was the whole point. Maybe that's what they wanted to go at. And my number 1 movie of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is The Avengers. I don't think this should surprise anybody. I think a lot of you were expecting this, and if you were, bravo. If you weren't, I wonder what's on your list as the best Marvel Cinematic Universe film. But yeah, I mean, this is a no-brainer. This has everything that everybody wants. It has great sense of comedy. It has great sense of action. It has great drama. The action scenes are all great to watch, especially the final battle where you see all these combos like Thor teaming up with the Hulk, and Hulk teaming up with Iron Man, and Black Widow teaming up with Captain America. And the best shot in the movie, obviously, is where it's going through all the heroes one by one, seeing all of them pass by each other and team up with each other, and you just like, wow, man. And obviously everybody loves Hulk smashing Loki. That's like the funniest thing in cinematic history, maybe, because it was so unexpected. And yeah, so I mean, the Avengers is a no-brainer to be here at number one, and I think all of you will agree with me on that. I hope. And if not, that's cool, man. Type down, write down your comments. Tell me what you think. If you think I'm wrong, let me know. I know I'm not always right. None of us are really right if you think about it, because film is subjective. It's an opinion. So we all get to give that. And I like to hear other people's opinions, because, you guys might have more interesting lists than me, but I think I surprised everybody with Iron Man 1 being a little bit lower than expected. Yeah, so, I don't know. Say whatever you want. Call me an idiot. I don't care. I want to know your opinion on my list and what your favorite movies are, so, of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And are you looking forward to Avengers Age of Ultron and Guardians of the Galaxy? Because I totally am. And I'm interested to see where they'll land on this list, obviously, because I'm going to have to update it. So, I guess that's all for now, everybody. Okay? Take care.